One of the most interesting teams in the NBA today is the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic really haven't had deep success. They made the playoffs a few years ago. This is the first time they actually made it in about 3 years, but they haven't had deep playoff success really ever since the Dwight Howard era on that team. And when you look at that team, in a sense, they were somewhat ahead of their time as well, surrounding Dwight Howard with shooters on that team and really just paving the way for him as well, especially defensively, to be one of the best players defensively we've ever seen. And yes, he was really that good. But looking now at what the Orlando Magic have today on this roster, this is a team that is really heading into the right direction. First off, starting off with the big news, one that is really, in some people's eyes, very controversial, is Franz Wagner, and that is his new contract. It's at a 5-year, $224 million rookie max extension with the Orlando Magic. And really, a few years down the line, this contract is really not going to be crazy for the Magic because the salary cap will be going up in the league. But speaking of that, when people heard this news, I remember a friend of mine texted me like, bro, who is this guy? Like, I get it. A lot of people don't really know about him, but on this Orlando Magic team specifically, he is their second best player. But the guy does still have a lot to prove. You're getting paid that type of money, so you're really going to have to really show what you can do this season. The thing is about Franz, he is overall a very great player. He's actually one of the best finishers around the rim in the entire NBA. He's grown as a three-point shooter, but that is still some of an area that he has to improve. And I think really the main goal for him coming into 2020 is he has to average over 20 points per game to increase his scoring. He's in many other ways as well to grown as a defender. He's really been improving his game each year, but really growing as a three-point shooter and really going out this season and getting over 20 points per game, I feel like for him would really more so solidify his name in a way. I mean, really, when you look at the Orlando Magic games, the ball is primarily in the hands of him or Paolo for the Magic. And Paolo, of course, as we know, I recently made a video about him, discussing him in that topic. I believe he's another great player on this Orlando Magic team that definitely has a lot of room still to grow in this game as far as efficiency goes and his three-point shooting as well. As a matter of fact, really, when you look at this Orlando Magic team as a whole, on the offensive end of the basketball court, they were one of the weaker teams in the NBA last season. I believe they were one of the bottom-ranked teams in the playoffs alone with their offensive rating coming into the playoffs and in the regular season. In general, they ranked 23rd in offensive rating. I think they were one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league as well. I mean, their lack of spacing is really, in a way, what's holding this Orlando Magic team from really taking that next level. Because as we all know, the NBA today is primarily a shooting league. You need to be able to space the floor and shoot the three in order to even hope to even win something in this league today. For Paolo and the Magic, the good news for him is that he is still growing as a player. If you look at across the board, his numbers has improved each year after winning Rookie of the Year and making an All-Star for the first time. The guy is just showing a growth trajectory. He's each year grown and grown and grown more as a player. And as a guy who is the face of this Orlando Magic franchise, all you really want to do is see him succeed. But you really can't, like I said, you can't really put the blame all on him for the turnovers and things like that, because this team really just lacks the offensive presence. And not only that, as I said, they're not a great floor spacing team. They're one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league. But still, it's impressive on top of that he still is able to improve his assist numbers despite them being still one of the worst offensive teams in the NBA. Another positive for him as well, and for this Orlando Magic team just in general, last season when they made it to the playoffs and they were the 5th seed, they went up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Nobody actually expected them to even go out and have a 7-game series with that veteran, more experienced Cleveland Cavaliers team. But they took that team to 70 games, and, despite getting blown out in Game 7, they still put up a very, very good fight. For Paolo alone, he averaged 27, 8.6 rebounds, and 4 assists in his first postseason, which is very, very impressive alone. So really looking at it for Franz Wagner and Paolo, these two guys are their best players on this team. And a lot of the future playoff success really depends and is heavily reliant on how these guys play. But of course, we all know the role players matter just as much on this team. And they did lose Markelle Fultz, but in a way, it was just he kind of got left behind by the growth and development of the players. Anthony Black, who is another player that the Magic drafted with a 6th overall pick in last year's NBA draft, he showed a lot of glimpses of being great. Another area, as I said, with this team, they have to improve is three-point shooting. And this is a guy that is going to have to improve in that area. But another area that will definitely help out this Orlando Magic team is their playmaking. Is if he can develop more as a playmaker for the second unit, that's going to be a very, very huge success for this Orlando Magic team. And, Wendell Carter Jr., another great example of a guy that, when he's healthy, he's a very, very great player. And if he can better his rebounding, normally so much you can ask for as him being a defender, but if he can just be somewhat of a better defender as well, this can really take this Orlando Magic team to even higher levels. Key guy who they got for this Orlando Magic team, which is going to help them out drastically, and that guy is KCP. The Magic, they were in talks this offseason to possibly get a Paul George type of player, somebody like him on the team, which would have been amazing what he could have been able to do, help them with shooting and defending. But now they end up getting still one of the best three-point shooters in the league, KCP. Over the last 3 seasons alone, he shot over 40% from 3, and that is something that this team drastically needs. He's not going to make this team just way better, offensively speaking, overnight in that way, but his presence on that team and his championship experience really helps out this Orlando Magic team. And having Gary Harris come out the bench now for this team is going to be an even bigger plus for their second unit. The guy who I really love on this Orlando Magic team is Jalen Suggs. This guy is just amazing. It took him a while to really find his way in the NBA, but where he is now, his role on this Orlando Magic team, this guy is easily one of the best defenders on this team. He's just that hype man. Like his energy, that what he brings to this Orlando Magic team alone is amazing. He even improved as well as a knockdown three-point shooter, which is what you need for this team. The numbers show in itself. He averaged a career high 12.6 points per game last season, and he shot 39.7% from 3 after his first 2 seasons of shooting 21.4% and 32% from the field. Because of him being such an amazing defender, he was awarded this season as well as an All-NBA second team defender, showing why he's so valuable to this Orlando Magic team. And there's no choice. This team, they're going to have to re-sign him to an extension. He's definitely going to be a big part of this team and their future success. Part of that future success and their plan of really making him an even better player now, as he will be a starter really for this team for the foreseeable future, is improving his playmaking and pick and roll play. If he can improve these areas of his game, they are going to really unlock even more potential for this Orlando Magic team with him leading the way. Another guy who I want to talk about on this Orlando Magic team that plays an important part of their future as well is Jonathan Isaac, who they re-signed to a 5-year, $84 million contract, I believe, which is a bargain, especially since, the salary cap is going to increase. His deal is a very, very valuable deal for this Orlando Magic team, but it's likely as well he's going to be the sixth man for this Orlando Magic team. And while you mostly look at a sixth man as a guy who could come off the bench and bring you great scoring opportunities, he is kind of the opposite because, he is really regarded as one of the best defenders in the entire NBA. In reality, if he has a fully healthy season coming into next year as well, really wouldn't be surprised if he's an All-NBA defensive team honors, because that's how great defender he is. And when he was on the court last season, for example, for the Orlando Magic, the Magic had a 98.7 defensive rating with him in the court in the playoffs last year alone. So I think that kind of just speaks volumes to how valuable of a player he is. So instead of having that sixth man who comes off the bench and brings you scoring, you're getting a sixth man that is going to be a capable defender who can guard multiple positions. He's very versatile. You're getting that in Jonathan Isaac, and he's really one of the main reasons why this Orlando Magic team is also considered one of the best defensive teams alongside Jalen Suggs as well in the league. But look, overall for this Orlando Magic team, this is a very, very fun, interesting team to coming to next season. As a matter of fact, I believe they have 5 national televised games this up and coming season in comparison to, I believe, only 1 or 2 they had last season. So this really is now giving them the opportunity to really show what they're capable of doing, more so as well too when they have those national televised games on a live stage. This team though, they made the right decisions. They drafted well. They've really worked on developing their key role players and their 2 best players in Franz Wagner and Paolo. I believe that Franz, he can really prove him scoring and just show why he's worth the money that the Magic gave him, because he is that valuable of a player to this roster. If he can just improve even more that aspect of his game, he's going to flourish. And Paolo, we've just seen each year his game get better and better. If he can just mature more as an offensive player, he's going to be even better than what he is now too, leading the way for all these other guys as well on this Magic team to really just flourish. This is a really fun team to watch. I do believe that a successful season for them coming into this upcoming NBA season really is to possibly win a playoff series. Now, that is going to be tough considering the fact that you have the New York Knicks, you have the Boston Celtics, you have possibly the Miami Heat, you have the Philadelphia 76ers. So you already have so many teams out there. And let's not forget the Pacers too as well. You have teams out there that are just growing and getting better. So look, man, it's going to be a tough ride, but I believe that this Magic team, if they can win one playoff series coming into next season, that is a successful step to the right direction for them as a franchise and just for their players in general. We all know young teams last year showed their lack of experience, but now they have a little bit of experience, and we can only hope that they just get better and better and better. So this team, I believe they're coming, and they are going to be a big threat in the future. But I hope you guys enjoyed this brief video today. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more basketball content each and every single week. Have a great day. Peace.